Welcome everybody. I just wanted to make a quick video about the meal plan fundamentals. We should all be working on our nutrition assignment now. Some of you got a head start on it. I know some of you already have a solid meal plan, but you still should keep this stuff in mind, and you can always go back. Meal plans are not set in stone. They should be nice plastic, flexible, modifiable. They don't always have to change, but they can change at any moment, and that's a key thing. So as you're learning this fundamental stuff, make sure you go back and make sure everything is on point. You can go back, modify, change, and we'll go from there. Anyways, just general fundamentals is the overall big picture. When you're creating your meal plan, right, this is your normal intake of food, your routine of meals, and this really is your life force. This is what powers the rest of your actions, your energy levels, your mental state, your stress levels, your ability to sleep better, to recover better if you're recovering from these monster workouts properly so you can get after the next one. This is all very, very important. So anyways, this is all in your modules. I left the notes there, PDF version. The PDF can be downloaded. You can save it. You can print it out, put it on your fridge or whatever you guys do, or just use it as a screenshot. So anyways, first thing you do when you're developing a meal plan is you set your macros. Your macros, if you don't know yet, protein, these are your major nutrients that we have to eat: protein, carbs, fats. Those are the three general categories of foods that we put in. And generally, I like to emphasize protein. Protein is probably, I know there's a lot of different diets and philosophies and stuff like that, but in general, protein is the most important nutrient. I'm sorry to say. And they're all important, first of all. They all are important. They all serve different functions and purposes. But protein is the most important because it does three super fundamental things. The number one, it is basically our muscles, our tissues, our soft tissues, our body is basically composed of proteins in general. So we constantly are breaking down our body. Our muscles are getting torn down during our workouts. Every day, every 3-4 days, we have to rebuild our skin and our bones and our all these different tissues of our body, soft tissues, are constantly getting regenerated. And that happens with protein. So you need to have protein. Protein is the most important. Besides that, it's the most satiety. It has the highest level of satiety, which means you feel the most full. When we have a protein, right, you've eaten a steak before, or a piece of chicken, or a piece of turkey, you feel nice and full afterwards. You don't really get that with some of the other meal groups. Of course, it's all quantity dependent. But in general, protein is the most important because it's constantly helping you rebuild. It's the building blocks of your body. You need more. You want more muscle, you need more building blocks. You need a constant supply of protein. And it boosts metabolism. It takes a lot of energy just to break down this protein. So protein is the most important. I generally recommend easy is about 1 gram per pound of lean body weight. So if I am about 270 pounds, right, 265 right now, but I feel like I have 15 pounds of fat on me. So I generally shoot for around 250 grams a day of lean protein. That's what I body needs just to not only rebuild itself, but also to build muscle. So you have to get that in. And most people think they're getting enough of it, but they really are not. You need to eat protein with every meal. Protein with every meal, 1 gram per body part. Okay, besides that, fats are 20 to 30% of total calories. These are also very important because they help rebuild your inflammation, hormone support. Our hormones are made from fats. Joint health is important, brain function, all that is related to our fat intake. And we'll get into what those are in a second. And then, of course, carb is the fuel. Carbs get a lot of bad rap because carbs are easily stored as fat. They get turned into body fat if we eat too much. If we're eating more carbs than we need, our body has no choice but to store it as body fat. And that's why you have to eat the right amounts, the perfect portion. And that's up to you. You got to figure out what that is. Everybody's different. We all have different. The younger you are, the faster you burn these things. The more active you are, the more you use these carbs. So you try to match your carbs to your lifestyle, to your activity, and we'll go through that later. So those are three. Those are the pillars. Those are the three macros. You need to get those under control. So in general, protein's a non-negotiable. You need that in every meal. Fats, you got to get the minimum requirement, and carbs are adjustable based on your training, based on your activity, based on maybe on a rest days. For me, when I have a rest day, I'm not working out that day, I don't have that many carbs. I don't need my oatmeal. I don't need my potatoes and rice that much. I have a little bit maybe, but for the most part, I eat mostly protein on those days, mostly salads, mostly maybe some whole fruits. So general. So let's kind of start with that mindset when you're building your meal plan. Okay, and in general, a simple method around 10 calories per pound for fat loss. And these are really rough estimates just to kind of give you an idea. And remember, part 3 of this assignment, you have to go punch all your foods into a software program, and it's going to give you your exact numbers. So, but just start off with this: 10 pounds per body, 10 calories per pound of body weight for fat loss, about 15 calories per pound for maintenance, just to stay the same, and 20 pounds for muscle gain. So, yeah, we're leaving at 10. So, anyways, okay. So really you have to match the meal plan to your lifestyle. So you have to match your meal plans to your lifestyle. What does that mean? We have to be very realistic with ourselves. A lot of us make up these great, beautiful, fantasy meal plans with steak and fancy exotic foods on there and meal plan, stuff like that. But it's not realistic for us. We're not home enough. We don't know how to cook. We don't have the budget for it. These are all very, very important things you have to keep in mind. So, do you snack late? Do you work late? All these things, consider it when you're creating your meal plan. These are things you have to keep in mind. So in general, I give you 3 examples. Busy lifestyle, that's kind of what I do. I do 2 full meals a day. One of them's Uber Eats because I'm stuck at work. The other one, I try to make breakfast. I didn't have a protein shake. And then I have a late night snack or when I'm driving around. So that's what I usually do. Simple ingredients, repeat meals. Some of you are more fitness focused, who are more advanced. Some of you pros. I know some of you guys are really into the bodybuilding. You guys, 3 full meals, 2 small snacks. You have your proteins prepped. You have all your meal plans. Some of you use meal services that deliver your meal plans, or you cook 3 days in advance. That's optimal. That's awesome. If you can do that, great. If you can't do that, some of you are a night shift, a regular schedule, you have a lot of kids, a lot of demands. You have to focus on portable foods, wraps, protein bars, fruits, Greek yogurts. I gave you guys a list. That exchange list is all these healthy snacks, 100 healthy snacks. That might make a lot of unfortunately, if you don't have time for a full meal, but you have time for a snack or a protein shake, then that's what you got to do. It is what it is. And then on days you have a little bit more flexibility, then you could have the full quality meal. Okay, grocery shopping fundamentals. So in general, I gave you guys the exchange list. Use that as almost a shopping list. Like I said, it's great to have chicken chicken is good. I love chicken. But if you start eating chicken every day, you might start getting sick of it, and you might still want to. So I like to mix in eggs. I like to mix in a steak once a week for me. That works for me. I like to mix in turkey or pork or seafood. I love seafood, fish, all kinds of fish, salmon. So make sure you have all these different options: rice, potatoes, oatmeal. Those are carbs. Those are my general ones. Fats. Anyway, this is all stuff you can read off there. Really basic. The balance plate rule in general: 1 palm, right? 1 size palm. I have a big palm, so for me, a big palm size of protein for every meal. 1 fist size portion for carbs. 1 thumb size portion of fats like avocados or nuts or butter, or stuff like that, or cottage cheese. 1 to 2 fists of vegetables or fruits. So anyways, that's an easy way for you to kind of gauge what you're eating. Of course, if you have the time, you want the precision, you can get a scale. They're very cheap. You can get them online, and that way you know exactly. Some of you are that want to compete, that want those high-level, advanced, elite results. Then you got to do that stuff. Most of us don't have to do that. Just kind of eyeball it and kind of use these guidelines and figure that out. But in general, All right, so if your goal is fat loss, in general, we're going to have higher protein, moderate fat, lower carbs in general, lower carbs. And usually those carbs are eaten around your workouts. And like I said, days you're working out really, really hard, I increase the carbs, more carbs in that day. For muscle gain, it's kind of the opposite. You need carbs. Carbs are energy. They actually provide the energy for your body to build new muscle tissue. So more carbs if you're trying to gain muscle, or you're some of you guys have fast metabolisms and eat really fast. So you need to have frequent meals. In general, if you want to gain muscle, if you're a fast metabolism, you need to eat as much as possible. Eat every 2 hours. Eat a snack, even when you're not hungry. It is what it is. It's part of it. So those of you who want better cardio, better performance, carbs are also important, but you got to match it. You got to make sure, and that's a different sports nutrition talk. Also allow flexibility in general. If you're eating 80%, 85, 90%, depending on what kind of results you're looking for, 80% whole foods, you're eating good quality meals. In general, you can kind of have flexibility. You can have that burger or fries once a week, or some pizza slices, or that dessert once a week, or some of your favorite foods. Use it as a cheat meal. Use it as a reward for staying on point, for doing all the right things, for doing the right actions, for sacrificing when your friends are pigging out and drinking and doing all this other stupid stuff. You're not doing all that stuff. You are a fitness person and you're doing the right things, and you're sacrificing because you have delayed gratification. You're playing the long game. And in the end, you get rewarded by that. So, in general, anyways, you guys can go read through the fundamentals. It's very clear, very easy. I try to make it as simple as possible. These are just general guidelines. But keeping your meals simple and repeatable. Okay, the other key here is, like I said, you got to plan a day of preparation or a day of shopping. Make sure you have those foods. Make sure you have those snacks. If you don't have those snacks or those foods when they're needed, it's a setup for failure. You need to make those extra little actions. That's what gets you preparation. Prepare to fail, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Do those things. It's very, very important. Besides that, I want to keep this nice and simple. My next video will be about staying on point, not cheating, staying disciplined, the mindset that's important, because a lot of it is psychology. A lot of us know, right? If we work out every day and we eat good every day, and we eat clean and healthy, we're going to get great results. But sometimes it's not that easy because of life, and we have 4 jobs, and our kids are demanding, and stress, and we're going through a divorce, or this or that, or our friends always want to go to a buffet and they want to drink every night. We have getting constantly bombarded with all this this negativity, or these I call them not really toxic, but these are counterproductive people and situations, and a lot of it is sabotage and self-sabotage. We're going to talk about that in the next video. All right, anyways, keep it nice and simple. Get on it. Get those workouts in. Get those meals in. Prep, and we'll see you soon. Have a great week.